So, a few months ago, I put a video up that explained the oil change procedure on the new generation Ford Rangers, 2019 to current, which is still probably 2022 now. There's probably some 22s out there. But I made a video on this because a lot of people who maybe like to change their own oil and such, if you have a Ranger and you've never done it before, you may not know how to do certain things. And a big thing with this is oil filter location. These 2.3 liter engines that they have in the current Ford Rangers, the oil filter is not accessible through the top or from the bottom of the engine. You have to get it from the side. It is located directly behind the driver's side front tire, behind the little, the little guard for the, mud guard and stuff, in the wheel well. So I made a video on this, kind of showing you how I do it at work. And the way that I usually do it is I like to remove the tire completely. A lot of people in the comments section of that video seem to be really taken by the fact that I removed the wheel. Because they say that you can access the filter without taking the wheel off. I never really said that that's the only way you had to do that. It's the way that I do it because, for one, I do find it easier to get to the filter when the tire is not in the way. And for two, I also, like 90% of the time, the jobs that actually come in for the oil change service end up getting the tire rotate anyway. So the tire just comes off with the work order for the most part. But even if the car isn't getting a rotate, I personally like to remove the driver's side tire. And like I said, a lot of people seem to be very upset, or they have, a lot of people commented, oh, you can get to the filter without taking the tire off. Da, 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 da. I never really said that that's the only way to get to the filter. Whatever works best for you guys. If you're doing the oil filter, with the tire on or the tire off, that's entirely up to you. But just for the sake of argument, the last Ranger that I had in the shop, I decided to leave the tire on because it was a no rotate job. So I figured, let's do it with the tire on for a change. And I documented it to show you guys, yes, it can be done with the tire on. Now I am going to speed this part up because it's just me removing the 4 clips, and the very last clip had already stripped out, even though this truck is not that old. So the last one was kind of a pain to pull out of the little splash guard there. So it takes a little while for me to get that one done. Now that I've got the last pin out, I'm bending back the splash guard, the little flap down, and the filter is obviously accessible there. So I'm going to grab my oil filter jaw, and I'm going to grab my extension with my ratchet, and I'm going to loosen the filter and start to let the filter slowly drain out into the little trough that's designed to let the oil run off in a clean fashion somewhere shortly behind the filter.
It's a lot easier with the tire not in the way. But yes, it can be done.
Now granted, I still had the truck on the lift when I did this, but I'm sure if it's on the ground, the suspension is going to compress some, but I'm sure you still have perfect access to get the filter with the tire on if you turn the wheel to the right and it's still on the ground. So I'm just making this video real quick to clarify that yes, taking the tire off is my personal preference of doing these oil changes. It's a lot easier than having the tire up against your chest and you can get in to the wheel well a little bit better. But if you prefer to leave the tire on, then do it that way too. It is entirely up to you. So, made this video to show you, and if you saw the other video, obviously you now know that it can be done perfectly fine in both manners. That is all. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.